Welcome to Clyde, fueled by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off at checkout at c4energy.com. On Clydesdale Media, where we bring you the widest array of content here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're the first to know when new episodes are available. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media weight loss journey. Good Sunday evening. I love these Sunday evening times. It just sets the week up real nice. Real nice.
Dude, I agree. I think it's a great time. And I'm like, thank you for bearing with me. I have a massage appointment tonight. Yay. Dude, you are on fire this week. Hands down, on fire. Like, I think you are doing really well. So let me ask you this. Did you start logging your stuff ahead of time a little bit?
I started doing that last week.
Yeah.
And then we had the mix up with the two trying to change and all that stuff. Yeah, but I'm probably 60% on that.
That's all you need to be. I'm
getting there.
That's all you need to be. That's honestly what I do myself, because I feel like if you get the basics covered, you can still be flexible. And that's where it's so important that, like, what you're doing well is, like, you're executing. Like, I'm telling you how to fix things and you're just doing it. And what that does is it's probably making your dinners a lot easier with your wife.
It is.
Yeah. Now you're like, I got to be in the budget.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to adjust the snack at night, but that's not that hard.
Right. So, I mean, you are doing awesome. You put new photos in for me, which is awesome. And you are hitting 312 on the scale. So, I mean, and it looks like we're getting ready to go into 311s because it's like slowly trickling down. So how are your workouts feeling?
Some days great. Some days, like, I'm still having sinus. It's not the sinuses anymore. It's asthma that kicks in. And I actually had an asthma attack on the way to the gym on Wednesday. And I think that my biggest win was I didn't turn around and go home.
Yeah, I agree.
I kept going and I went and I did what I could do.
Yeah.
And I think going more consistently to the gym like that will get rid of this stuff that's happening.
And more importantly, the mindset of that is that a lot of people focus so much on how they feel and how they're going, and the anxiety and the foreseeing of how they're going to feel, that they forget that imperfect action is always going to be better than waiting for perfect action. So you're on the way to the gym, you're having this asthma attack. The mindset is like, oh, it's going to be a bad workout. I just need to go home. You probably start thinking that, but then you're like, no, I'm just going to go. And I think that there's two things that really help with this. One, knowing you have a coach waiting for you that cares, and knowing that, like, he's going to help you get through that workout. And also knowing that, like, the best workouts are often the ones that you don't expect. And, like, you're going to learn something from it. And that's how we build resilience. That's how we actually make progress happen. We don't make progress happen when things are going perfectly. Nobody gets better by doing what they're comfortable with. I mean, if you look at the sport of CrossFit, people don't get better by hitting the same way that they've already hit. They get better by being like, right, I'm scared of that. I'm not quite sure how it's going to go, but I'm going to give it a shot. And that's how confidence is built.
Yeah. The best part was I recovered mostly during the strength and got my breath back. And I actually ended up doing better in the workout than I thought I would do.
Yeah. What was the workout?
So that was good.
Was it one of those, like, a really...
No. This was Wednesday. So it's Thursdays are cardio only. This was 5 strict pull-ups into 10 dumbbell bench press, into 10 dumbbell farmer carry lunges, into 10 cows on the echo bike.
Okay. That's not too bad. That's
like a 16-minute AMRAP.
Okay. And that's good because you can start to learn how to control your breathing a little bit. Something that really helps with that sometimes too is, I wouldn't do this during your Metcons, but during your warm-ups, is to work on nasal breathing only. At first, you're going to feel kind of like you're suffocating. But what it does is it forces you to really control. And even if you're doing like zone 2, like seeing how long you can kind of stay with your mouth closed. It teaches you how to control that breath and control your intensity to keep you when you're in those spots like, okay, let me just try and like calm down. That's a really good strategy that CrossFitter athletes will use as well. So
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that has me excited, it was just announced this morning through an email from my gym, is they are adding what they call a level 1 program. So it is a program that it's a variation called level 1. If you're coming in and you're not having the best day, it is a way to move, and it's just an option without being separated from the class. Like
I
if you
love
come in
that.
and you're just like, I am not having a good day, but I just want to move. This is that. And it's more about executing the movement than super high intensity that day.
I love that. And I think that every gym really should do that because I think that, what I find is that a lot of people struggle to ask for that, and that's why they don't come. They know that they need that, but they also don't know how to ask for it, and they feel guilty or like they're taking up the coach's time. But in reality, that's what the coaches are there for. And you're very lucky to have coaches that really do care and are also very, very knowledgeable. So your food looks great. We got you all synced back up in my fitness pal again. How is your hunger this week?
Uh Off and on. Some days it's really good. Like I'm not hungry at all. Other nights I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I could eat. So thankfully, my friend who works at Cliff Bar
Yep.
sent me a care package of protein bars that are awesome. And I got those on Friday. So a lot of time I'll hit that. Sometimes I hit just an apple just to get me through the night. But yeah, those are good.
Yeah, you're
I'm
doing
I'm
great.
adapting.
And then I know that the mornings on Saturday are a little bit more difficult for you because of you're doing some like stuff with the games right now with the game season, right?
This Saturday I didn't.
Okay.
This weekend's just yeah, this weekend had its own issues, but that's fine.
Yeah. You honestly though, and this is where people need to hear is like it's not about perfection. Like you're getting results despite not being, you had pizza on Friday, you had an English egg McMuffin. Those are things that people are like, I just sabotaged my diet and now I've got to start over on Monday. You're not in that mindset. You're like, okay, it's, whatever. You're moving on. Like that's how you should be because, if people realize that's what 80/20 life is, like you're eating so well the majority of the week.
Well, and you taught me that even though I had pizza and an egg McMuffin, it all fit. It all
Yeah.
fit in what I was doing. The only thing that I get that gets troublesome on those days is getting enough protein.
Yeah. Yeah. It's usually a protein shake. Here's my suggestion is when you're going to have pizza, always order, and it's not fun when we go like, oh, it's boring. Order a salad with grilled chicken on it. Or you can actually ask them to add grilled chicken to your pizza. And if you've never done that, it actually tastes pretty good. It's just a way to get a little bit more protein in without having to add a whole nother meal. That's usually my go-to is have like, can I get a salad with grilled chicken on it? Or like I said, adding the grilled chicken onto the salad, or even just a side of grilled chicken if you don't want the salad. I just like the salad because it helps you also like get a little bit more satiated first. Because I don't know about you, I could easily eat half a pizza. So it's like, I mean, that's
Yeah.
going to make me feel a little bit more, satiated. That's how I normally would do it when I'm going out for something like that because I'm not the kind of person that wants to chug a protein shake. Or I might make a protein smoothie at night, and it might be like just like protein and carbs only, and try and keep the fat lower. That's usually what you end up going over on things, and that's I think you did a great job. And one day of being low on your protein isn't going to hurt you. I think really the important thing is for people to realize that there's so people are like, oh, the macro thing, or oh, you don't have to track your macros. No, you don't have to, but it also makes it really easy for you to understand what you're getting in your diet. And if you're still, and it's not a focus on macros, it's a focus on the food, and that you're learning how to fit things in the right way. So that if you didn't track your food, you're like, I know what it looks like to have a serving of pizza and be okay with things. So you're doing awesome, dude. Loving it.
Well, and I'll say, and I know you have to go in like 4 minutes, and I'll stay on if anybody has any questions. But I was having the worst Friday ever with we were babysitting my daughter's dog. It was making it hard for me to breathe. I was having a rotten day at work. Like it all just came crashing down. And it was literally, and I did really good up until dinner. And I was like, I'm going to have pizza and I'm just going to fit it in and I'm not going to let it blow everything up. And I'm not going to hate myself for doing it
Mm.
because I've had a bad day and I just want a pizza.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
And it all worked.
Yep.
And I still lost weight this weekend.
Yeah. And that's where people have to realize that if you also work hard. You are not lazy. Like you get the benefit of, I made a post about this last week, is the benefit of being something that busts your ass in the gym is you do get to eat a little bit more food, because you are working hard in the gym. Like it's not about earning your food. It's like, yeah, if I freaking bust my ass in the gym, I better be able to have a little bit of pizza here and there. Like that's what I work hard for. So things are looking really good. So what about this week? How does your week look coming up into this week?
This week is pretty non-busy.
Yeah.
We're going into quarterfinals on Thursday for individuals, but up until that point, not a lot of shows this week. Really just kind of using it as like a rest period before quarters start, because quarters weekend is going to be a little bit crazy. But my wife and daughter are going out of town for a mother-daughter kind of getaway. So it's just going to be me. And that's the easiest time because I can control my food so much easier.
Yep.
And yeah, and then I can work on all my stuff in my time without worrying about ignoring people.
Love it. I think the only thing I want to ask about is the title of this episode is why is protein so hard? And I think we should start by asking, why is protein so important? Right? Like, why are we as coaches? I mean, every coach is the same thing. Protein, protein, protein. Like any coach that's worth a damn is going to start with protein. Why is it so important? Protein is like, it's an essential nutrient. We all need it for immune function, for maintaining lean muscle mass, for satiation, for hormones, for all of these different things. And most people are protein deficient. It also regulates the hormones that regulate, hunger and satiety. So it's going to make you feel more satiated. It removes cravings. And so protein is so important. Why is it so hard? You actually did a pretty good job last week. You really only had the pizza day, which is where you were pretty low, which what I'm going to talk to you about there is where most people go wrong, is they don't understand that if you're eating a processed diet, you're likely low on protein. So one of the ways macros helps that is by focusing on macros, you're going to likely clean up the quality of your diet to get more protein in. So it's kind of a reverse thing. But why do you think protein is so hard?
So the reason I titled it that way was because protein would be the last thing going into a nutrition plan that I would think would be hard for me to hit numbers on.
Yeah.
Like I love my proteins.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that for weeks I've been struggling to get that number has been blowing my mind.
Yep.
Now, I did get a recipe for this stuff called cracked chicken made
that's good. Yep.
With Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, chicken. I use fat-free cheddar cheese in it, and you bake it and it goes on a sandwich, and I use the Carb Smart buns. That blew up my protein. And then I was so far over, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because it's all protein.
Yeah. So a couple of things that you can do. Here's the deal is if your protein number is, right now I have you at a conservative low of 185, is think about, this is why it's so hard. If you're only eating 3 meals a day and you're not snacking at all, that means that you have to get in like 60 grams of protein at those 3 meals. And that's not always the case for people. So that's where you're kind of going to have to make a little bit of a help with that. So if you're like, all right, I'm going to eat 3 meals, you got to get 60 grams at all 3 of those meals. It doesn't have to be all from an animal source. It's just like, okay, well, my Dave's Killer Bread has an 8 grams of protein. I'm going to have, that's where you can kind of you might have the egg whites, eggs, and a Greek yogurt. That's if you're only eating 3 meals a day. The easier thing is to be like, all right, I'm going to have 3 meals at 50 grams of protein and 2 snacks at 15. Or I'm going to have 3 meals at 45 grams of protein, which is about 6 ounces of cooked protein, so you can really look at different ways to do that. And that's probably what I would recommend.
Yeah, it was more the fact that I'm stunned that it's become so hard, because I would think that'd be the last thing I would have difficulty with.
Yeah.
And that's why I titled that. And then when I did find some recipes that added other types of protein in, then I went way over. Like I was
Yep.
at 230 like
I
one
saw
day
that.
or something.
I would honestly rather you be over than under. If you're a little bit over, don't stress about it right now. I'm okay with that. Unless you're like so full that you can't get the carbs in. If you're like, I'm too full to eat anymore. So that's what I would really say. And Damien just put carbs and fats add up without thinking about it. Yeah, it's easy to those are easy to add in because you're hungry and you're like, oh man, I can literally grab a handful of chips, you know. So other things that people don't think about is when you are looking for a snack, jerky. I like to recommend, like, if you're snacky, snacky, is that a word? And you're craving something salty, grab some jerky, you know. I also I don't mind people using some of the protein products because I think that if you're craving chips and like, oh, I'll have a bag of Quest chips or those wild chips, you know, yeah, it's a little bit more processed, but if it's like choosing between that or Doritos, like have the Quest chips and you're getting more protein in, you know. You could even use those in your meals, like making a big taco bowl and taking some of those Quest chips and like crushing them up on top for some crunch, anything like that. But I love that cracked chicken recipe. I like to use there's a buffalo chicken one that I like a lot. There's a girl I follow. Her name is Fit Foodie Live. I've shown you some of her recipes. She's got a ton of high protein stuff that you guys can look at. So, but yeah, I mean, I think
Well,
that yeah,
I was just gonna say, I know you have to go.
I
I
know,
don't
and I'm
want you to
sorry,
miss your massage.
this is my thing. So before I head off, because I'm going to head off and I'm going to run there, it's 10 minutes. Um, Anything this week that you think that you need to be more cognizant of? Because I think right now you're doing a really good job.
Yeah, I think just keep the habit going
Yep,
this
agreed.
week.
This is a week of consistency. Nothing's on your plate. We're kind of between quarters and all that, so you have a little bit of a break this week. Um, and then I'm getting excited to see you in Orlando coming up pretty soon. So,
Yeah.
but
So I don't know if Kenneth is calling me a jerk or what,
and
but
he's mentioning jerky. I think I talked about jerky, but I love me some jerky.
jerky.
So yeah,
I thought he was saying jerk you.
yeah. No, I
I
think
don't.
he's talking about the jerky that I was mentioning. So, but
Okay.
Scott, awesome job. I got to get running. I'll let you stay on and play with the kids. If you need anything, you know where to find me.
I do. Talk to you soon, Cheryl.
Bye.
All right,
If I hit end,
Robbie,
if I hit end, it's not going to mess anything, right?
you hit leave studio.
Okay. Oh, I want to help him with this question though. What good snacks are there for protein? Are there
I was
protein?
going to help him, and then
Okay.
you can correct me next week.
Okay. All right, Robbie. I want to call you Happy Gilmore, but that's okay. I don't know why it's on my mind. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.